generations. And now, the power of two restores the one.
We got a bidet! Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about my thoughts and opinions on the movie Love Lies Bleeding, and I will be going into some spoilers to talk about the movie itself. So this beginning part, I'm going to tell you some of my opinions that are non-spoiler and give it a rating, and then we'll move into those spoilers. So, what was I expecting from this movie? I was expecting the movie to be interesting, different, odd. It is from A24, which is one of my favorite companies as of late. And I would say I got everything I wanted and more. This movie I thought was really, really good. There was a lot of things that happened that I didn't see coming, and then they were exciting, and you're like, what is going on here? And so I thought that this was a great film from A24 once again. Let's see. Some of the things that we understand from the preview is that we have one of our main characters. Her name is Daisy, I believe. No, not Daisy. Sorry, Jackie. Jackie is our main character. She's the one with the curly hair, played by Katie O'Brien. Jackie is kind of strolling through town, and she's a bodybuilder, and, there's some sort of competition. And then we also get from the trailer that there's some sort of there's something going on here a little more than what meets the eye. And so that's where, we eventually get some crazy things happening from this film. Again, don't want to dive too far into spoilers just yet. Just want to give you an idea of what we did know from the trailer. So, like I said, this movie was odd, crazy, suspenseful. It was really interesting to me to hear even the responses from the audience when we were at the theater. There was people that were gasping. There was people that were definitely taken off guard, from different funny things that they said or did. And so ultimately, I think not only did myself enjoy the film, but I think a lot of other people did too. Um, I would say there was some stuff that I think is up for interpretation in the ending of the film. So depending on who you talk to, they may have differing opinions on what happened. I will go over my opinion, of course, at the end here as well. But in my opinion, I think this film basically it is kind of a what is really happening, what is what are we led to believe is happening kind of a thing. It's actually kind of what had hoped was happening with the movie Imaginary, where I thought, we really kind of have to pay attention and decipher what is actually happening and what is not. So they had that in the film as well. The music, the score was really, really good to set the mood. I will tell you the opening shot, which not a spoiler here, the opening shot is like coming out of some sort of cave looking thing, and you're looking up at the stars, and the music is just so, I would say, unsettling. So they're really trying to, set this tone of, here's some weird imagery. We're trying to get you set up and ready for this film, like trying to almost let you know up front what to expect. And that is to feel uneasy. And so that's when we start to roll into our film, because it pans to the gym, which is where our character Lou, which is played by Kristen Stewart, where she works. So yeah, I enjoyed the film. It made me, it had me engaged the whole time. There was really nothing I thought in this film that was out of the ordinary. I will say there's probably a little bit of a trigger warning that maybe you want to know about. There is, some domestic violence type stuff that does happen in the film. I'll go into more detail where that lines up in the film as far as plot and the spoiler section, but there is some domestic violence stuff, if that's not for you. Um, I think they did it as I would say carefully as they could. It's apparent that it happens, but at the same time, it's off screen. And then there's something that follows it that I feel like people want to see of an outcome from it. And again, when spoilers come, we'll talk about that. So I'm gonna go ahead. I am giving this movie probably my first. I'm debating between two of them, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna give the movie a 10 out of 10. This movie was great. I feel like I enjoyed it the whole time. It had my interest. I thought the score was amazing with how they were trying to convey the mood and the tension of the film. There were moments that were surprising and I didn't see coming, and they weren't just dumb. They were actually parts of the movie that really contributed to what was happening and pulled you in to keep you there. So I think I'm going to give this movie 10 out of 10. It's the first movie I have actually enjoyed this year. So I would say very, very good job from A24 on this film. So with that being said, I am going to transition into spoilers. Excuse me. So like I said, the beginning of the film, it starts with this kind of weird shot and it comes up out of a cave or a canyon to be more specific. And we're looking up at the stars and then we focus on the gym. And we kind of learn, that Kristen Stewart's character Lou is well, she's running this gym. She's kind of the manager, so to speak. And her job is terrible. We see her cleaning a toilet that is absolutely clogged. And throughout the movie, she's actually asked quite a few times to go and plunge a toilet. So she's running this gym. I didn't really see many other employees. I don't know if there are very many others, um, but that's her main job. She's running this gym. We also meet our character Jackie very early on, and it is a very, very explicit sexual scene. She is seen with JJ, and that's played by Dave Franco. And what she is doing is she's kind of strolling through town, and one, is trying to get a job, which is why she's doing these acts with JJ, because she wants a job at the local shooting range, which is where he works. And then eventually, so she gets that job, eventually she goes to the gym because she's a bodybuilder and she's trying to get to Las Vegas for this bodybuilding competition. So she goes to the local gym, which is the one that's run by Lou, and she sees Lou and there's kind of this connection there. We also see another character named Daisy who's kind of a bit in Lou's face about wanting to be in a relationship. So uh, that'll come up a little later, but we do see Daisy quite a bit. It was interesting because I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way that this character isn't significant later on because of how many times we're seeing her throughout this like first half of the film, and it does pay off later. So uh, at the end of the shift, Lou, closes down the gym and goes outside and is greeted by Jackie. Jackie asks for a smoke, and so they're sharing a cigarette together, and a couple of the dudes that were lifting weights come out of the gym and they're trying to basically ask Jackie to go to the bar with her, and she doesn't want to. She's not interested. She's more interested in Lou. And basically what happens is it turns out, it triggers Jackie, and she has had enough, and she punches the dude square in the face, and then he turns around and punches her square in the face. And so from that, Lou is like, let's knock it off, and Lou takes Jackie into the gym to, take care of her face and maybe get to know her a little bit because Lou was definitely eyeballing Jackie. And so they get into a conversation. Lou finds out from Jackie that Jackie wants to go to this competition as a bodybuilder. And so Lou says, I have this, special thing I want to show you. And so, but you can't come with me. I'll go get it and I'll bring it back. So Lou goes off to the office and gets this black box. And this black box has a bunch of performance enhancing drugs, also known as steroids. And so if you're taking steroids, it'll be better, better your chances at that competition in Vegas. And so what happens from this is not only does Jackie take her first steroid from Lou, Lou asks her, where do you want it? And she says, in the butt. And so that kind of uh, gets her a little more involved, seeing some personal stuff of Jackie. And then Jackie and Lou uh, become a bit more than friends at that point, to the point where Lou takes Jackie home. And then the next morning, Jackie has to go to work because she's now going to go working for JJ, and Lou is going to a family gathering as well. And so we've learned from Lou going to her family gathering that I believe it's her sister is who she's visiting, and her sister's husband is JJ, the guy that Jackie was with to get a job. And so we know that JJ is kind of a scumbag where he cheats on his wife. And as Lou is going to see her sister, JJ is leaving for work. And that's when JJ and Jackie go meet up at the local gun range. And so what we learned from this is that, Jackie goes to meet the boss, and the boss is Lou Sir. He's the guy with the long hair played by Ed Harris. And that's from the funny little scene from the trailer where he's like, do you know much about guns or whatever? And she's like, I don't really like them. He's like, then why are you here? So we kind of get that fun little interaction. But ultimately, she does get the job, and she does different things around the place. I think she takes care of the trash a lot. She's a waitress. That's what she is. She's a waitress. So she's a waitress at the little bar that they have. What we find out a little bit later is that Lou Sir is actually Lou's dad. And Lou and Jackie go out to dinner with JJ and his wife, Lou's sister. And there's some tension there because, JJ is seeing that Lou is with Jackie, and he knows that he did stuff with Jackie, but yet he's here with his wife, and he's unsettled. I think he's even nervously tapping his foot or stuff like that. And his wife spills some stuff on his lap, and she's trying to help him clean it up, and he's just freaking out, and he goes to the bathroom, and Lou follows him to the bathroom and is like, hey, if you put another hand on her, because she can kind of see some either bruising or what looks like a wound that was healed from JJ doing some domestic violence. Basically tell JJ, if you do one more thing, I'm going to make you regret it. And that's when JJ reveals to Lou that, hey, you should actually be watching yourself, because the girl that you with isn't who you think she is. Because JJ reveals to Lou that he was actually with Jackie at one point, and it's because she needed a job. And so he kind of points out that maybe Jackie is being, relationship quality and going through things with you because she wants a free gym membership. And so this kind of sets Lou off, and Lou and Jackie get in a little bit of a spat. This is where we see from the trailer, Jackie is outside of the truck, outside of Lou's truck, and Lou is like, get back in the car, and then they take off. And the reason why that she's saying that is because there's also some FBI agents trying to locate Lou's mom. What we get from early on in the film is that Lou's mom is she's got something going on with the FBI. Lou keeps telling them that she hasn't spoken to her and she doesn't know where she is. She even tells that to Jackie because one of their conversations that they have as a couple is Jackie's asking Lou about her family. And that's when Jackie finds out that Lou's dad is actually the one that's her boss. Um, but Lou is always deflecting who her mom is, where she is. And so Lou gets a phone call that something happened. And so they rush to the hospital, both Lou and Jackie. And Lou's sister is unconscious and her face is just messed up from JJ wailing on her. And this is the part where I was mentioning in the non-spoilers where, they are suggestive, like they suggest off screen that there is some domestic violence, but they never show it. But it is really bad, the condition that she's in. And so, Lou is there, at the bedside trying to, uh, you know, uh, not reason with, but understand her feelings essentially, like because she knows JJ did this, and then her father, Lucer, which is also someone that Lou does not associate with, like doesn't talk to, arrives and goes by the bedside next to her. And Lou Senior, not Lucer, Lou Senior. He is telling Lou that, hey, your sister wouldn't want things to happen to JJ, so we're not going to do anything outrageous. We're going to figure out what we need to do to, take care of things. And Jackie is picking up from Lou that, Lou wants JJ dead. So Jackie takes it upon herself to drive to JJ's house and beats the living crap out of him to the point where she kills him. She is smashing his face into the coffee table in the living room to the point where his jaw is dislocated and it's dangling. And it's a very, very graphic image that we're shown. And so she does that, and then she uh, goes in the bathroom and sits in the bathtub. And Lou does not realize that, well, I don't know, maybe Jackie told her that she took her truck, but it wasn't on camera because she doesn't freak out about the fact that her truck is missing. She just takes a taxi back home. But on the way home, she sees her truck is at JJ's house. And so Lou tells the taxi driver to stop, and she goes inside and she finds JJ mangled. And then she also finds Jackie in the bathtub. And so what happens here is that Lou is basically like, hey, we have to get this covered up. We don't want to get in trouble for this because you'll definitely go to jail and not be able to go to Vegas like you want to. And so what the plan is that Lou happens to know an area where they can dump the body and somebody else will get the fall. And so they put JJ in the car. They take him out to this random place, and Lou is driving JJ's car. Jackie is driving the truck, and we get a surprise visit from Daisy. So Lou is at a red light, and Daisy's like pounding on the window, being like, hey, like she's definitely drunk, trying to figure out maybe a time to, go out to dinner or breakfast or whatever with Lou to try to have a relationship because that's what she's interested in. And she does notice that Jackie is in Lou's truck. And so she's kind of leery about, oh, is she with that girl kind of a thing? And so the light turns green and Lou just, takes off and Jackie and them take off. Daisy is left behind. And what we end up is we end up at the edge of a canyon. And Lou pours gasoline all over the car and has Jackie help her push the car into the canyon. And then she takes out a Molotov cocktail, lights it, and throws it down into the pit. And the reason why that she brought the body there, it's the same canyon that we have that opening shot come out of. And what we figure out as we go through the movie is that Lou Sr. is a weapons dealer where he is sending weapons across the border to Mexico, and that's how he makes a lot of his money. And this is an area where if someone were to rat him out, he would actually have this person killed, and they would throw that person in the canyon. And so the idea of dumping JJ's body with his car into this canyon is that Lou hopes that her dad will be framed for it. And so they head back, and um, Jackie is really focused on trying to prepare for this Vegas show. Lou kind of wants them to lay low for a little bit so that the cops can see the smoke from the car, and her dad can get framed for it, and then they would go to Vegas. But Jackie really doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Jackie is she's aware of where the steroids are at, so she's taking steroids like crazy. She is going to the gym quite a bit, and when she goes to the gym, when she's kind of going through this whole steroid craziness, um, we're seeing different things on the walls where they're kind of the things that are supposed to pump you up at the gym, like weakness is or pain is weakness leaving the body and stuff like that. But there's one in particular where it's our body, I'm paraphrasing, but our body emulates what our brain believes. And so throughout the movie, when Jackie is doing her like workout sessions and her muscles look like they're getting huge and veiny and stuff like that, that's all in her mind. That's not actually happening. And so that's when it starts to begin where we, as the audience, understand that she's not doing these things or not becoming these things, but she believes that she is. And that's going to play a role later in the film. So she's missing. Lou is disappointed that Jackie isn't there, which causes a spat between the two. And Jackie decides to leave. She goes to Vegas on her own. She hitchhikes. And so she goes to this competition. And while she's out there, Lou is now hanging out with Daisy. I don't think she's really seeing it as a relationship, but because she told her at the stoplight that she would hang out with her, she goes to breakfast with her. And so Lou and Daisy have a little thing. Jackie's off to the competition. And when Jackie's at this competition, she's taking her steroids still. She's kind of like on a really crazy buzz from it, where she's even hallucinating to a point. And, she gets up on stage, she does the first part of the show. And then when she's supposed to do like her individual piece on the show, she really trips out, and to the point where the murder and the dumping of the body and stuff is running through her mind, and she is looking at over the canyon, and she like throws up Lou, like she regurgitates her right in front of her. And all of this, is going through her head, but what's happening in reality is that she throws up on stage. And so she's embarrassed, and she thinks that people backstage are making fun of her, and so she goes backstage and just beats the crap out of one of the girls, and she's taken to jail. So she gets a phone call, the one phone call you get from jail, to try to contact somebody, and she tries calling Lou, and Daisy actually answers the phone. And so Daisy tells Jackie, don't call here, don't come back here ever again. She's with somebody else, basically. And instead of contacting or getting a hold of Lou, Jackie contacts Lou's senior, and he's the one that does pick her up from jail and is, taking her back to the local town that she was doing all this stuff in with Lou. And what we get from this is that Lou Sr. actually has pieced together what is going on. He does have an insider in the police where he gets his information and does all his cover-ups. And he's basically letting Jackie know, like, hey, I know what's going on. But We can still take care of this. Everything can still be okay. And so he drives her all the way back. And what we know is that if Jackie does something for Lou Sr., then he'll take care of her. He's like, I have one favor I need you to do. And so when Lou and Daisy are going back to Lou's apartment, they go up the stairs because she's on the second story, and Daisy throws up. She's been kind of off this whole time. She throws up her food from breakfast, and the camera cuts to Lou where she's like surprised that Daisy had thrown up, but then we see what looks like blood was thrown up on Lou, and this was one of the very surprising parts to me, is that what ended up happening was that Jackie shot and killed Daisy. Why? Because Daisy knew about some of the stuff that was going on. She was starting to piece things together. She could have been one that could have told on them. That's one of the reasons why that Lou is quote unquote dating her, because she doesn't want Daisy to talk. And we find out that it's Jackie that shot, Daisy, and Daisy falls over. And Jackie is aiming at Lou. And essentially, we know that Jackie wanted to shoot Lou because she pulls the trigger and there isn't another bullet. And Jackie just runs away. Now it's Lou's problem that there's a dead body at her apartment. And Lou is left there to, clean up the mess, which is very interesting because after she's done cleaning up the mess and she like wraps the body up in the rug, the FBI show up at her house. So it's almost a way as us as the audience thinking that maybe Lou Sr. is trying to frame Lou for what happened. But the FBI are there because they want to talk to Lou also about her mom and a little bit about JJ stuff. And so what's crazy about this scene, what makes it really tense, is that she hides the body in the rug behind her couch. And there's some hair sticking out. I think some blood leaks out a little bit too. And Lou's cat goes over and licks it. And so it's like, oh my God, is the cat gonna, give it away? What's gonna happen here? But nothing ends up happening. The FBI leave like they're supposed to, and Lou is able to carry on with her day. A little while later, while or right before Lou is going to be heading out, I believe, somebody else shows up at her house. And Lou has a gun, and she's, ready to leave and do what she needs to take care of things. I also think at this point she learns because she gets a phone call from her dad, and he basically tells her, like, hey, I have Jackie. If you do anything stupid, I'm going to do something to her. And this is where we basically hit the climax of the film, where it takes off towards the end. And that's why she's gathering a gun. She's gathering the body to go dispose of it. And somebody meets her at her apartment. And it's someone that's trying to assassinate Lou. Because she told her dad, hey, I'm going to tell the feds everything that you did, which now puts a target on her back. Because we learned from before, anybody that does that, he ends up having killed and thrown in that canyon. Well, the person that ended up trying to assassinate her was that bad cop, the one that's in on it with Lou Sr. And so she ends up taking him out. And then she leaves to go to her dad's house, which she has a really, really nice house. She gets to the house. She sees her sister there, and her sister is very, very upset that JJ is dead. But ultimately, what can you do? That was the better thing that Lou thought should have happened, even though Lou didn't do it. She never even mentioned that it wasn't even her. But she gets away from her. She goes to find Jackie. She finds Jackie all tied up, and she helps her get out. And Jackie tries to run away, and this is where they, talk things out and figure out where each other is at, and then they decide to work together. This is the only part of the film where I kind of thought it was a little not quite there. Like, I didn't quite believe it because they're taking so much time. They're loud. We know that Lou Sr. wants to basically kill his daughter or frame her. So I feel like that would have been a red flag for him. But they decide that they're gonna, take care of things. Lou wants to go and face off with her dad. She tells Jackie to basically go, and she'll be right behind her. And Lou goes to confront her dad. Her dad gets the upper hand and shoots her in the leg. He even taunts her to a point where he's like digging his finger in her leg to give her a bunch of pain. And Jackie hears the screaming from it. So Jackie comes back and Jackie handles Lou Sr. I think this is one of the moments where it's really up to interpretation of what you want to take it as, because um, Jackie, when she gets angry about what is happening to Lou, she becomes massive. Like, what I interpret it is that Jackie believes that she is this macho person and she is gonna just take out Lou Sr. And so when she comes to save Lou, Lou sees her as this monstrous thing. Like, she's huge, like a giant. And it looks kind of weird on screen, but again, I feel like we're supposed to interpret this as what she believes that she is because of what we were shown in the gym earlier on, and the fact that her muscles aren't actually what she believes they are. And so she like pins down Lou Sr., and Lou gets up and looks like she's gonna shoot Lou Sr., but she doesn't. She leaves him for the feds, and then Lou and Jackie run away. Now, we haven't seen, this is another one that I think is up for interpretation, because now not only is Jackie a giant, but so is Lou. And they're running through the clouds. And what I kind of interpreted this as is that they were on cloud nine, right? Where you're the happiest you can be, you feel free. And so, again, I think that's where it's really trying to tell the audience, hey, this isn't really that they're giants, but, this is uh, their state of mind, so to speak. And so they run away. They're together again, and the last scene in the film is from the trailer where um, they're driving down the road, and Lou notices that the body in the back of their truck is moving, and turns out that it's Daisy, and Daisy is barely alive. She was shot basically through her face, and she has like a hole in her front cheek, and she's barely alive. And Lou kills her, puts her out of her misery, and then drags her out to the desert to leave her for dead. And then, they go on, Lou and Jackie go on with their lives. So that's basically the movie. It is, like I said, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. It keeps you interested in what's going to happen next, who's going to frame who, what's going to happen. And so that's why I think this movie is a solid 10 out of 10. What I was talking about in the non-spoiler section, where I had said, how they handled the domestic violence in my opinion, a very tasteful way, is, us as the audience, at least I don't really want to see a husband beating up his wife, um, which they didn't show it. However, I do think what people want to see is justice being served. So I thought it was interesting that they had it off camera that the wife was, beat quite a bit. But then when we go to see JJ, get messed up, I feel like that was a very interesting way to handle that. Is we're not going to show you this on screen, but we are going to show you, this guy getting some justice. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I really liked the twist that I didn't see coming when Jackie shot Daisy. Um, I would say the only stuff that I thought was just kind of weird, I really didn't care for the whole giant situation at the end. But again, that's just kind of a me thing. It is what it is. Um, and the one thing that I didn't really think was super believable, where they were, talking and wasting time out in the little tennis court area at Lou Sr.'s home, when Lou was definitely trying to take out her dad, and he was definitely trying to take out her. So aside from that, I thought the movie was great. Great performances all around. I do recommend the film, but like I said, there's definitely some stuff in this movie that go the extra distance, and if you're fine with that, check it out because it's a great film. So if you enjoy this type of video, we actually normally have more than just me, but I thought I wanted to at least get this out there for you because we're super busy. But if you enjoy this type of video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way you are notified when more of these movie discussions drop. We try to do at least 2 movies. We even do sometimes more throughout the month. I know this month we still have Ghostbusters and the new Winnie the Pooh movie that I'm looking forward to. So if you're interested in seeing our thoughts and discussions on those, which we should have more people for those, come back and check us out. Drop us a like if you liked the video and drop us a comment letting us know if you saw Love Lies Bleeding and what your thoughts were on the movie. And then as always, everybody, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.